ActionHammer rules allow you to play Wargame using 1/18th scale action figures. You can download core rules and faction datasheets for free from the link in the video description. Today we will watch the battle of two small-scale armies, Grey Knights and Adeptus Custodes. A fast but brutal clash of forces worth about 2,000 points each. And starting with the Grey Knights, the first unit is the head and Brotherhood champion of the Purifier Order, Castellan Garen Crow himself. A one-man army, peerless duelist, Crow will take control over objectives on the battlefield, trying to avoid being locked in close combat with large enemy units. And of course he bears the Black Blade of Antweir, a cursed demon sword that continuously tempting him with chaos, promises of power, or seeking to bind his will with black sorcery. The main striking force of the Grey Knights army, 4 Brotherhood Terminators carry a diverse arsenal of deadly weapons. Terminator armor have built-in teleportation devices which allow them to deploy anywhere on a planetary surface with a deep strike. Each Terminator carry a Storm Bolter mounted upon his left back brace. 2 Nemesis Force Swords. 1 Nemesis Demon Hammer capable of destroying an enemy Terminator with 1 successful hit. Nemesis Halberd with 4 deadly attacks that rarely fail to hit their targets. Nemesis Banner, inspiring brothers to effectively secure objectives on the battlefield. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Lord Caldor Drago, the Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights Space Marine chapter. He will lead the Terminators, cursed to a life within the warp. From the warp he comes, unleashing a relentless strike on the heads of his enemies. Adeptus Custodes, deadliest warriors in the galaxy, protectors of the Golden Throne. 4 Custodian Guards, each a bastion in their own right created to counter any possible threat. 3 Sentinel Blades, deadly in the melee and shooting at close range. Guardian Spear, 3 attacks in melee, with terminal armor penetration. They will be led by the Blade Champion, a fearsome warrior hero dedicated to melee combat. This will allow them to make the most effective advance moves and charges, while maneuvering on the battlefield. Archaeotech Vault Swords and Veiled Blades that are used by the elite Blade Champions provides an outstanding 6 melee attacks, and the most brutal, terrifying force of the Adeptus Custodes on the battlefield. These warriors wear suits of Alaris pattern Terminator armor, expertly crafted armor whose worth can be measured in the output of entire worlds. 2 4-arm-mounted ballistus grenade launchers, designed to destroy entire concentrations of manpower. Guardian Spear, you better not face this thing in close combat. Just trust me. Vexilla, as a sign that these 2 will not give up on their goal. Now today's battlefield is brought to your attention. Suburban planetary area with multi-story buildings where armies' deployment zones are separated by the minimum required 50 inches. The first floors are a cover terrain. Higher floors are a cover terrain and a higher ground. In our case, the size of the battle mat is 4.75 by 9 feet. Players place 5 objective markers, each over 12 inches away from players' deployment zones or any battlefield edge, and over 18 inches away from other markers. Quick first turn roll-off, and Grey Knights begin their deployment first with Castellan Crow. Like all units before their first activation, he takes a defensive stance. The deployment of the Custodian Guard and the stance of entire unit is indicated by the leader, Blade Champion. All other units are in deep strike, so we move on to round 1. Both players plan to take control over their first objectives. And Crow, who has the most advantageous position, will try to take 2 in 2 turns. Successful advance roll, and he's within the 6-inch zone around the first marker. It looks like by the end of the second turn, when objectives start earning victory points, the Grey Knights will have at least 2. The Custodians are much further from the nearest objective, and after 2 frustratingly unsuccessful advance roll attempts, they fail to reach it on the first turn. Well, this quick starting battle round did not go very well for the Custodians. But this means nothing, because in the second, with the landing of reinforcements, the balance of power can often change dramatically. At the beginning of their second turn, the Grey Knights decide to commit their main forces to try to prevent the Custodians from occupying the desired objective. The Terminator's leader, Kaldor Drago, allows them to charge over a greater distance in the same turn they were set up on the battlefield using the deep strike. Crow takes the next objective with normal movement, allowing him to shoot after that. Which is good, because the Custodian Guards are now within range of his Storm Bolter. 1 successful hit. 1 failed save roll, and the Guard takes the first wound of the battle. Terminators switch to attacking stance for maximum destructive power. As a result of a successful charge roll, they move into contact with enemy models for melee. And then defenders do the same by moving up to 6 inches. First, Kaldor fails to use psychic powers to wound his enemy. Then Titan's Words attack, 3 hits and 2 wounds. Each Custodian Guard has 3 wounds, so one of them is out of the battle. Attack with 2 swords, 5 hits, 1 critical with armor penetration of -4 causes 1 wound. Remaining hits result in another wound. 4th Halberd, 3 hits, but Custodian armor performs flawlessly in this case. Nemesis Demon Hammer, successful second blow, but the Custodians manage to withstand even such terrifying power. And now they're ready to strike back. 2 Sentinel Blades, 3 hits, 1 critical. Even the Grey Knight's special ability save roll cannot save them from it. Remaining hits do not cause wounds. Guardian Spear, 2 hits, 2 wounds. Additional saving throws again do not help. One of the Terminators is eliminated from the battle. Blade Champion's attacks, 4 hits. 1 critical, causing a wound. The remaining hits inflict 2 more wounds and another Terminator is eliminated from the battle. At the end of melee combat, the charging unit closes the distance with its target by moving up to 6 inches. So, the Grey Knights earn 2 victory points for objectives controlled by Crow, and 1 for objective controlled by Terminators. The Custodian's second turn begins with the Alaris Terminators landing in the center of the battlefield. They plan to move to the central objective, preventing the Grey Knights from occupying it, and fire, taking advantage of the higher ground. Shooting 3 enemy Terminators with a grenade launcher will allow them to make the maximum number of attacks. 2 hits. And successful save rolls. Shooting a spear at Castellan Crow, 2 hits. failed save roll, but Crow's psychic powers allow him to avoid injury. Custodian Guard switches to a regular stance as it will already give them a maximum total stance modifier of +1 to hit. In this battle, both they and the Terminators are charging without pre-firing, since both are better in close combat. 2 Sentinel Blades, 5 hits, 2 wounds. Guardian Spear, 3 hits, 2 wounds. Oh no, Holy Terror! The terrifying abomination of the war has descended from the sofa straight to the battlefield. Now we are all finished. Exterminatus is now our only option, although perhaps this time we were lucky. The monster is not very hungry. Blade Champion attacks Terminators. 4 hits. And 1 more wound. The Grey Knights strike back and Kaldor Drago again fails to hit his enemy with psychic power. 4 hits with the Titan Sword, 2 critical, resulting in 2 wounds. The rest do no damage. Nemesis 4 Sword, 2 hits, 1 wound. Well, at the end of the turn, there is 1 Terminator and 1 Guardian within the 6-inch zone around the objective marker, so the Custodians don't gain control of it. The only objective they control is the central one, so they score 1 victory point. The 3rd turn of the Grey Knights, and since the Terminator squad has suffered serious losses, they must now pass a morale test at the beginning of their activation. Realizing that the only way to victory is by points, they go into deep defense near the objective marker. The main task of the Grey Knights now is not to die before the end of the 4th round. Crew is going to take cover in a nearby building, and if possible, take control of a distant objective in the next turn. A successful advance roll, and he moves, staying at a safe distance from the Alaris charge. At the end of their turn, the Grey Knights gain 3 more victory points, now totaling 6. Realizing their difficult situation, the Custodians move on to actively destroying enemy forces. Sentinel Blade, 1 hit. 1 wound. An additional save throw does not help, and Kaldor is now left alone. Spear, 3 hits, but he manages to avoid injuries. Blade Champion's attacks, 4 hits, 1 critical with armor penetration of -4, and 1 wound in total. Kaldor strikes back, 1 wound with psychic powers. Titan Sword, 2 hits, no wounds. The guards close the distance at the end of the melee. The Alaris Terminators move closer to Castellan Crow and open fire on him with all their weapons. Grenade launchers, 1 hit, failed save. But psychic powers again protect Crow from injury. Guardian Spear, 2 hits, no wounds. And this is sad for the Custodians. For this turn, they receive another 1 victory point. Kaldor takes cover in a building, remaining close to the objective. Enemy Terminators block Crow's path, and he decides to retreat to a place where they cannot charge at him on their turn. Kaldor loses control over the objective, and the Grey Knights receive 2 victory points. Custodian Guards take a morale test and switch to an attacking stance. The defining moment of the battle has arrived. Will this be Kaldor's last stand? Guardian Spear, 2 hits, and 2 wounds. He has 3 wounds left. Blade Champion, 5 hits, 1 critical causing 1 wound. and 1 wound from the rest. With 1 wound remaining, Kaldor Drago withstood the onslaught, which means that continuing the battle further will not change its outcome. Even if the Alaris Terminators kill the Castellan Crow during their activation and take control of another objective marker, the Adeptus Custodes will score only 2 victory points on the 4th turn. Kaldor will be alive, which means that they will not be able to win by destroying all enemy models. The Grey Knights win this battle with a serious lead in points. Where this clash of minimal armies was quick, we've seen smart decisions triumph over brute force. Great game. Hope you all had fun.